All right. So let's do. We got. So we're done with the Eagles and the Cowboys. Then we got the Panthers and the Buccaneers. So I said the Buccaneers was gonna beat the Panthers 43-23, and did the Buccaneers lose today? I don't know. I thought I saw that they lost. No, no. Okay, not bad. No, they. All right, so I wasn't too far off. I wasn't too far off in this game either. So they won 48-14. Okay, so I wasn't too far off. They won 43. I said they was going to win 43-23, and they won 48-14. Yeah. So is there anything on this game I want to look over? Bucks bounced back with dominant victory and had to have a game. So the Buccaneers, they lost in Week 16 against Dallas. Let's see here. They did what they needed to do to get the job done to beat the Panthers, and they took care of this game very early. So they dominated this game pretty much throughout. This was a strong blowout. Baker Mayfield, he threw 5 touchdowns, 359 passing yards. God, y'all. That's the 5th most he's had in a regular season game. He destroyed the Panthers defense. Alrighty. Mike Evans, he had 2 TDs, 97 yards. He's 85 yards of his 11th straight 1,000-yard season. He should break that next week. The backup tight ends, they had a combined 88 yards in a touchdown with Kate Auden out of the lineup. Let's see how the run game did. The run game produced 202 of the Bucks' 551 net yards of offense. So the run game was phenomenal as well. All right. So let's see. Young was not to blame for the Panthers' woes. So let's see. Bryce Young led a statement drive to tie the game. The Panthers cooled off offensively as the Bucks built a 27-7 lead before half. But Young, he struck back with his second touchdown strike to Adam Thielen and set up a field goal chance for Eddie Pinheiro before halftime, which he missed that field goal. And that was the last gasp for the Panthers as the defense was eaten up by the Bucks. And Chuba Hubbard, his less run game was non-existent, and the special teams allowed a block punt return for a touchdown. So the Buccaneers, they just dominated all over. They just completely just dominated. So Bryce Young, he had a pretty solid game. I mean, obviously he doesn't have the offense to keep up with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and obviously the Panthers don't have the defense to slow the Buccaneers down. So if you didn't watch the game, which I didn't, but I think Bryce Young is a pretty solid quarterback. So, but if you probably just going to look at this game, look at the stats, you're probably just going to be like, oh my gosh, Bryce Young was not, he's to blame. He didn't play well, and it's looking like he was okay. He played all right. It was not him. It was the entire team that let down. They won in all phases of the game. The Buccaneers, they dominated in all 5 phases. They played complementary football. So is there anything else I want to go over? Nope. Yeah. Solid win for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Very, very great statement win. All right. Let's see here. Wait, let me look at this. The Panthers' 551 yards allowed were their most since the 571 they surrendered to the Vikings in Week 6 of the 2021 season. So that's the most that they have given up since 2021. All right, so we got the Jets and the Bills. So I said the Bills was going to beat the Jets 54-34, and the game wasn't even that close. I think the Jets got destroyed. So the Bills beat the Jets 40-14. So yeah, I gave the Jets way too many points. I had way too much freaking. I was way too optimistic about the Jets offense. So let's see here. The Bills defense stood tall in a blowout of the Jets. Josh Allen threw for 2 touchdowns and ran for another, so he had a total of 3 touchdowns, helping his MVP case, and helping his team lock up the number 2 seed. Let's see here. They did have a few offensive penalties, which kept it a close game until the mid-third quarter. So they They was kind of shooting themselves in the foot until the third quarter, but they kept the ball rolling. Let's see here. The Bills' defense was dominant all game, keeping the Jets off the scoreboard until garbage time. So those only points that the Jets scored was on garbage time. So they forced 3 turnovers, and they gave Aaron Rodgers miserable all day long. So let's see here. Is there anything else I want to look into? So they also had a first half safety on Aaron Rodgers. And they also had a big interception in the second half. And Christian Benford, he almost had 2 interceptions. And Ed Oliver forced a fumble that was recovered by Matt Milano, who has worked his way back into the forms his injury. Okay, so they was just dominant all game. They was a living nightmare for Aaron Rodgers. So yeah, Aaron Rodgers, his era might be coming to an end with the Jets. We don't know. His future is uncertain with the Jets. We will find out where he's going to end up in the offseason. But yeah, so I guess that's all we need to look into. So let's see. Yeah, Garrett Wilson, he had a fumble deep. The Jets was just terrible all game. All right, there's nothing else I want to look into on this game. Yeah, this game was just pretty much freaking unmatched. Well, let's look at this. Well, Josh Allen now has 65 rushing touchdowns, which tied him with Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas for the most rushing touchdowns in Bills history. And so fellow Hall of Famer O.J. Simpson is third with 57. That's remarkable. I mean, he has 65 rushing touchdowns. Wow. So, I mean, Josh Allen, he's literally a running back, man. This dude is a running back that can throw. That's what makes him so dangerous. And you give him a great offensive line. This is what he's going to do. So we got the Colts versus the Giants. I said the Colts was going to beat the Giants 21-12. Surprisingly, they lost this game. So far I've been 4-0 because I was right on all 3. I was right on the Thursday night game. So I was right on all 3 of the Saturday games. So I was 4-0. I was right about. Let's see. I was right about the Cowboys, Eagles, Panthers, Buccaneers, Jets, Bills. So that's 5, 6, 7. So wrong about the Colts and the Giants. All right. So let's see here. I wonder if next week, hopefully I can be correct on all the games, and at least hit one score. At least hit one game with a perfect score prediction. But obviously I didn't do it this week. So let's see, Colts, Giants. All right, where we at? Colts, Giants. Oh, man, surprisingly the Colts lost to the Giants. It's crazy. Okay, let's see here. Let's look over this game real quick. Let's see. So Malik Neighbors, he had a great game this week. Drew Lock. Okay, let's see here. All right, Malik Neighbors, he finished with 7 catches for 171 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's ridiculous. That's awesome. Way through Drew Lock. So he tormented the Indianapolis secondary all day. Let's see here. Short passes worked well because Neighbors is proving himself as an elite catch and run threat. He took 2 of them to the house. And then Sunday accounting for 90 of his yards on a pair of receptions that were either behind the line or scrimmage or within 9 yards. All right, he made downfield plays as well, proving himself as a threat who must be accounted for on every down. And the Giants haven't had a lot to smile about this season, but they have a legitimate star in Malik Neighbors. Let's see here. The Colts, they wasted early opportunities. Let's see. Joe Flacco into an interception. Let's see. Yeah, no matter the starter, both quarterbacks are just playing bad right now. Joe Flacco and Anthony Richardson. New York entered Sunday with an 0-8 record at home this season and have one last chance to win at MetLife Stadium before heading into an uncertain offseason. Let's see here. Locke was remarkably efficient, finishing 17 of 23 for 309 yards and 4 touchdowns. Wow. While Tyron Tracy Jr. chipped in one long run to help set up an early trip to the end zone. So they scored 45 points for the first time in nearly a decade, putting together a nearly complete performance in a game that meant little other than how it concerned Brian Daboll's job security. So, okay. Yeah, there's no telling where Brian Daboll is going to end up in the offseason, but them coming away with this win probably can help the case. And Tyron Tracy Jr. and Malik Nabers became the third rookie duo in NFL history to have 1,000+ scrimmage yards in the same season Sunday, joining the Saints' Reggie Bush and Marquise Colston, which happened in 2006, and the Dallas Texans' Abner Haynes and Johnny Robinson in 1960. So, hey, Tyron Tracy Jr. and Malik Nabers, the Giants got something to look for in that. All right, so let's see here. Let's move on. We got the Raiders and the Saints. So I said the Saints was going to beat the Raiders 17-14. And let's see here. Where's this game at? Go over this game. All right, so wait. Oh man, I said the Saints was gonna beat them. I should have said the Raiders was gonna beat them. I could have decided that, but I said the Saints was gonna beat them 17-14. The Raiders beat the Saints 25-10, which is awesome. I mean, the Raiders is ending the season on a good note. They won last week, and they won this week, and so that's good. I mean, that's good, man. I mean, I like to see when teams play. Probably not. It's not going to the playoffs. Had a bad season, but they're finishing the season on a good note. You know, you could take that on to the off season, and you can move that from the off season, have a really good off season, and then you transition that right into the regular season. So I mean, I like to see that. I like to see teams still fight hard late in the season when they know that they're not going to the playoffs or anything like that. I love to see that. I love to still see the competitive nature. And so that's what the Raiders is doing. And it's not going to be a walk in the park for the Chargers next week. And the Chargers know that. So the Chargers going to have to get that 11th win. The Chargers need to get that 11th win. So this is awesome. Raiders, they beat the Saints 25-10. Let's see if we want to go over Brock Bowers. Obviously, best tight end in the NFL. Obviously, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Going to end up going probably more than likely going to go down. If he keep this up, going to go down as one of the greatest, or if not the greatest tight ends to have ever lived. He's had a record-setting day. This helps the Raiders for their second consecutive victory. And let's see here. Brock Bowers, team leading 7. He had 7 catches, 77-yard performance in a double-digit win. Blasted. Okay. He had blast past Mike Ditka's rookie tight end record of 1,076. Brock Bowers has 1,144 yards on the season. He had his 7 grabs gives him 108 receptions for the season. He broke Puka Nacua's record for 105 for most receptions by a rookie in NFL history. Brock Bowers, he also surpassed Darren Waller's record for most catches in team history. The tight end was the go-to for Aidan O'Connell, who played his best game of the season. The Raiders, they scored 6 of their first 8 possessions, and they had a 95-yard touchdown possession at the end of the first half, which was the Raiders' best drive of the season. Let's see here. Let's see, is there anything? Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler, he completed 13 pass attempts for 146 yards with a touchdown and 0 sacks in the first half, and he was looking pretty efficient as he has all year. Let's see here. He's been having a lot of drops, poorly timed penalties. He threw for just 72 yards with 2 INTs and took 3 sacks in the second half. So he had a pretty solid first half, and he had a terrible second half. In the New Orleans, they had no rushing attack to help the quarterback. No consistent weapons on the outside. The Saints are just a disaster. The Saints are a disaster. Antonio Pierce, with these wins that the Raiders are getting, he is making a case to keep his job. I think he should keep his job. I definitely do. He's going to lose next week, but I think he should keep. I think he should get one more shot because see what he can do with a quarterback. He hasn't had a quarterback. Let's see here. The Raiders have won back-to-back games for the first time this season. Their 2 straight wins follow a 10-game losing streak, tied for the second longest losing streak in franchise history. Okay. Let's keep it pushing. Titans versus Jags. So I said that the Titans was going to beat the Jags 19-15. And where we at? The Jags won. So I'm just being wrong. I'm just getting wrong all consistently all day. All day. Oh Jesus! All right, so the Titans lost to the Jags. The Jags beat the Titans 20-13. Okay, and I said that they was going to beat them 19-15. I wasn't too far off on the score. Wrong about the team. Let's see here. Is there anything else I want to look into? Brian Thomas Jr. He is turning into a really great wide receiver. So let's see here. He made big plays for the Jaguars all season and continued to do so on Sunday, catching 7 passes for 91 yards and a touchdown. The Jaguars wisely tried to get him the ball as much as possible. They drew up a sweep for him that he took for a gain of 18 on a drive that ended in a Mac Jones touchdown pass to Parker Washington. Let's see, yep. Brian Thomas Jr. He is becoming a real stud. Let's see here. Tennessee. Is there anything else I want to go over with Tennessee? Tennessee comes up short again. Mason Rudolph. He has taken over as a tight end starting quarterback in these final few weeks and put together a showing typical of his expectations, completing 19 of 31 passes for 193 yards and a touchdown. So let's see. Nope. All right. Let's see here. Brian Thomas Jr. is one of 4 rookies in the Super Bowl era to record over 1,100 receiving yards, which he has 1,179 receiving yards and 10 receiving touchdowns, joining the elite company of Odell Beckham Jr., Jamar Chase, and Randy Moss. So Brian Thomas Jr. is becoming a freaking monster, which is dope, and he's doing this with terrible quarterback play. So he's proven that he is one. All right, Dolphins Browns. I said the Dolphins was going to beat the Browns 24-20, and the Dolphins beats the Browns 20-3. So I gave the Browns a little bit too much points. So not too far off. Let's see here. Is there anything I want to look on this game? Tyler Huntley is proving that he can reprise his role as a veteran backup for the Browns. For the Dolphins. He was 22 of 26 passes for 2,225 yards and a touchdown. He also rushed for 52 yards and another score on 7 attempts. So that's awesome. Huntley accounted for 277 of Miami's 280 total yards of offense. He led 3 scoring drives that originated in Miami territory and capitalized on a turnover in Cleveland territory by firing a bullet to Jonnu Smith for a score late, officially sealing the road win. This is the type of play or game that the Dolphins need for Huntley, for them to keep their playoffs hope alive in Week 18. So the Dolphins needed help entering Sunday to keep their faint playoff hopes alive and received the perfect Christmas gift on Saturday when the Bengals defeated the Broncos. That brought new value and pressure. to Sunday's meeting with the Browns, a game they knew they'd play without their starting quarterback, unlike their earlier stretch spent without Tua, whose status for Week 18 is unclear. Miami handled the challenge well, getting enough out of its backup and passing game and complementing it with a stingy, aggressive defense that enjoyed some key plays from their hero Calais Campbell, who had a goal line stand and a convincing finish. The Dolphins will need more help in Week 18, but most importantly, they bought themselves one more week to believe in a season that seemed doomed months ago. Yes, it did. Phenomenal, 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 phenomenal. Tyler Huntley was efficient against the Browns, completing 22 of 26 attempts for 225 yards and 1 touchdown, including a 16.6% completion percentage above expected, the highest by a Dolphins quarterback in a game this season. That's dope. With 2 sacks Sunday, Myles Garrett became the first player since individual sacks were first tracked in 1982 to record 14-plus sacks in 4 consecutive seasons. Wow. Wow. All right. Let's see. Let's go on. Let's keep it pushing. Packers, Vikings. This was a great game. I said the Packers was going to beat the Vikings. No, I did not. I said the Vikings was going to beat the Packers 34-27. And the Vikings beat the Packers 27-25. So not too far off. Let's see here. Sam Darnold, my boy Sam Darnold, he snapped off. So let's see here. Let's see what he did. So Sam Darnold, he picked apart the Packers defense for a career high of 377 yards on 33 of 43 passing attempts with 3 touchdowns and an interception. Darnold got everyone involved. When Justin Jefferson, he had 8 catches, 92 yards while he was blanketed, but he still ate. And Jalen Naylor, he did well. He had 5 catches, 81 yards, 1 touchdown. Jordan Addison, he had 6 catches, 69 yards, 1 touchdown. TJ Hawkinson, 5 catches, 68 yards. Vikings defense, it was dominating Love all game. Let's see here. Jordan Love, he only had 45 passing yards at halftime. And for most of the contest, for most of the game, Brian Flores' defense, they were dominating Green Bay's offense. Green Bay could not get anything going for a minute. But later on in the game, Jordan Love, he started slicing and dicing the defense, but it was a little bit too late. So let's see. The Vikings have won 9 straight games following back-to-back losses in weeks 7 and 8, the longest active winning streak and the longest win streak in season for Minnesota since 1975, when they won 10 straight games. The Vikings' 14 wins are the second most in team history, which in 1998 they were 15-1. They finished 15-1, won NFC Central, lost the NFC Championship game versus the Falcons. All right. The Vikings played man coverage on 47.1% of dropbacks, their second highest rate in a game this season, including 11 of 13 third and fourth down dropbacks. This was a notable change in the strategy of Brian Flores' defense, which played man coverage on a season low 10.7% of dropbacks in Week 4 against the Packers. The Vikings allowed half the yards per attempt when playing man coverage at 4.1, compared to zone coverage at 8.2. Brian Murphy was especially effective in man coverage, allowing just 1 reception for 13 yards on 5 targets, at 1.2 yards of average target separation. All right, let's keep it pushing. Sunday Night Football. This was a really great game. I saw some of this game. Falcons versus the Commanders. I said the Commanders was going to beat the Falcons 30-25. And let's see here. Okay, let's see. What was the score? Dang, bro. I was so close. I was 1 point off. I said the Commanders was gonna beat the Falcons 30-25. They beat them 30-24. Well, I wasn't too far off. I'm 1 point off. I don't think I've been. I don't think I've been right. I think I think I was a couple times this season that I picked some games when I was perfect on the score. But I have to go back and do my research and I have to see. I have to look at through all my videos. I'm gonna do like shorts and see like, and I'm gonna break them all up and I'm just gonna put them all on the. I'm gonna make them into YouTube shorts and I'm gonna make them into Instagram shorts and put them throughout the social media. And I'm gonna see what my record is and of how many games I was right and how many perfect score predictions did I have. Just want to see. But yeah, I was 1 point off on this game. Yeah, Commanders beat them 30-24. I said 30-25. Let's see here. Is there anything on? Both quarterbacks played good. I think both quarterbacks had a great game. I think Michael Penix Jr. He's showing signs of eliteness. Well, he's showing that he could play. He's showing that he can play. I'm not gonna say he's showing signs of elite, but he is showing that he's pretty good. And I think in more time and more, he get more playing time and he gets more experience, he's going to do a great job. And I think he's going to have a shot of playing more and getting into the playoffs. So what better experience can he get than playing in the playoffs? So yeah, I like Michael Penix Jr. My only thing that rubbed me the wrong way with Michael Penix Jr. was, how Jim Harbaugh dominated him. How Jim Harbaugh's Michigan's defense dominated Michael Penix Jr. in the playoffs last college season, but he's a pretty good quarterback. I think also he does have some injury problems. He can get. I think he is a bit injury prone, but if he can stay healthy and if he can keep developing and keep learning how to read the defenses and make good decisions, Michael Penix Jr. is going to be a great quarterback for the Falcons for years to come. I think Michael Penix Jr. could be their franchise quarterback, definitely. Let's see here. So the Washington Commanders, they punched their tickets to the playoffs in Jaden Daniels' first year. Congratulations to the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, to the Washington Commanders, excuse me. Let's see here. Is there anything I want to go over on this game? Washington, they held a 24-17 lead with 2 minutes remaining, but surrendered a clutch fourth and goal 11-yard touchdown pass to tight end Kyle Pitts. Which I'm saying, like, that was from Michael Penix Jr. He's showing he's clutch. So and they allowed the Falcons to tie the game. And then after punting the ball back to Atlanta in the waning seconds, Washington caught a break when Falcons kicker Riley Patterson missed a 56-yard field goal attempt that would have won the game. So they could have won the game, but they missed the field goal, 56 yards. It was short. So the Commanders, they capitalized on their luck when they won the overtime coin toss, and Jaden Daniels, he orchestrated a masterful 12-play, 70-yard drive, capping it with a 2-yard touchdown pass to tight end Zach Ertz, who notched his second score of the night. So Jaden Daniels, he was a stud. He delivered a great performance. He completed 24 of 36 passes for 227 yards and 3 touchdowns, while he was also dangerous on the ground for rushing 127 yards on 16 carries, and he's showing why he is a critical piece for the Commanders being successful this year. He's a dual threat, a very dangerous dual threat quarterback, very dangerous in the back, whether if he runs or pass. So the player of the game, veteran linebacker Bobby Wagner, delivered a great performance for the Commanders, earning a 80.0 plus PFF grade on first review. He recorded 3 solo tackles and a defensive stop against the run. In coverage, Wagner was targeted twice, allowing 1 catch for just 1 yard and forcing an incompletion on the other, with passes to his primary coverage yielding a 56.3 passer rating. Alright, so yeah. All right, I think that's it. So let's see here. All right, so man, I thank y'all so much for watching. That's all I got. And we're going to be back for Monday Night Football for the recap of tomorrow. I said that on Monday Night Football, I said that the Lions, it's going to be the Lions versus the 49ers. And I said the Lions is going to beat the 49ers 40-25. So I don't think this game is going to be close. Fortunately, it's not. Fortunately, this could have been a really great game. If the 49ers would have played how they usually are supposed to be playing their brand of football. But yeah, it's all right. Hopefully Kyle Shanahan can get those boys playing really hard tomorrow night. And this won't be a walk in the park for the Lions. I think we all want to see a really great game with the Lions and the 49ers. If you would have looked at this schedule, you would have looked at this game on the schedule, and before the season started, you would have been happy. You would have been like, oh yeah, that's going to be a good game. But hey, I don't think it's going to be a good game. I hope it does though. But I did say the Lions is going to blow out the 49ers 40-25, and we'll find out. We'll see. We'll see in 24 hours. So I thank you all so much for watching. This was the NFL Week 17 Sunday night recap, Sunday football recap, and we'll be back in 24 hours.